Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Ryan Prosick. A Shenandoah man has been arrested following a domestic incident on Saturday. According to court documents, state police responded to the 200 block of North White Street around 1:30 p.m. Troopers say Francisco Ramos had been drinking and assaulted a woman by punching her in the head and kicking her. Ramos fled the scene but was taken into custody later that day. Ramos has been charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, and harassment. He is currently behind bars at the Schuylkill County Prison, unable to post his $10,000 straight cash bail. An Ashland man is behind bars at the Schuylkill County Prison after pursuit Saturday morning in Girardville, where he was found with methamphetamine. According to court documents, troopers were on patrol around 2 a.m. Saturday morning when they passed a Jeep Cherokee driven by Graham Hahn that was traveling in the opposite direction at a high rate of speed. When police ran the registration of the vehicle, they found that it was expired and that the registered owner of the Jeep was deceased. Troopers then followed Hahn until he hit an embankment on a dirt road near Butler Township. Hahn resisted arrest but was eventually taken into custody. When police searched Hahn's vehicle, they found 4 bags of suspected methamphetamine, a pill that was suspected to be oxycodone, and drug paraphernalia. Hahn has been charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, driving under the influence, resisting arrest, and attempting to elude police, and is currently behind bars of the Schuylkill County Prison on $10,000 straight cash bail. Trick-or-treaters will be out in full force tonight for the Halloween holiday, intent on securing some sugary treats. However, it is equally important to have fun and be safe. As a result, the National Safety Council has published some tips for keeping everyone safe on this spooky holiday. First, it is recommended that children be supplied with either a glow stick or reflective tape so that they can be easily seen by drivers on the road. For older kids trick-or-treating by themselves, it is recommended that parents plan a route with their kids beforehand and set a time to expect them home by. It is also suggested to tell your child to not eat any candy until they arrive home. If you happen to be commuting during trick-or-treat hours, it is suggested to drive with caution and remain alert for children walking on the roads or curbs that may be wearing dark clothing. Trick-or-treating will take place in Hazleton tonight from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. A woman is wanted by Wilkes-Barre Township Police after she stole over $10,000 worth of iPhones. Police say Nadesha Terry worked at the T-Mobile store at the East End Center as a salesperson. During her time working at the store, she opened several fraudulent accounts under various different names and obtained over $10,000 in iPhones. When management confronted Terry, they said she stopped going to work. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Terry is asked to call the Wilkes-Barre Township Police at 570-606-4791. An early morning tractor-trailer crash caused a heavy delay Tuesday in Lackawanna County. Crews were dispatched to Interstate 81 northbound between the Avoca and Music exits for a report of a tractor-trailer overturned that was carrying logs. There is no word on if any injuries were sustained in the accident in Lackawanna County. State Representative Dane Watrow and Senator Dave Argall held a scam seminar at the Faith Assembly of God Church in Hazleton. Argall said the purpose of the event was to inform constituents about the dangers posed by scammers in the digital age.
With the increasing use of technology, some of these scammers are diabolical, and they keep coming up with new and crazier ideas on how to steal money from our constituents.
According to Argall, the effects of scams are widespread in our area.
The average person loses $500 to these kind of scams. That's a lot of money in Hazleton or Nuremberg or Ringtown. And so what we wanted to do is get the information out to people to basically teach them how to protect themselves.
During the event, Trooper Anthony Petrosky of Troop N in Hazleton presented information regarding the latest scams impacting our area.
I hope they paid attention with all the scams that we went over today, because these are the most popular ones that happen on a daily basis, because we don't want to see them come to our police station as a victim. So the best thing they could do is educate themselves by coming to a seminar like this, because these phone calls, these emails, the text messages, they're not going to stop. So the number one thing they have is their education, and we provided some education today in hopes that they never become a victim of the scam.
More than 30 participants came out for the seminar. For those who were unable to attend, Argall said his office plans to hold additional scam seminars in the future. The Bloomsburg Police Department responded to an incident on Friday at the Columbia County Courthouse. According to police, Thomas Boatman had threatened the special master in charge of his child custody review earlier in the day. Police say a warrant was obtained for Boatman's arrest, and Boatman was apprehended without further incident. Boatman has been charged with threats and other improper influence in official and political matters and making terroristic threats. Boatman has been locked up in the Columbia County Prison with a $50,000 bail. One person was transported to the hospital after a Sunday morning crash on Route 901 in Barry Township. The crash happened near the intersection of Post Road and Route 901. According to emergency crews, the driver of the car lost control and rolled over at least once before coming to a stop. The occupant was reportedly wearing his seatbelt at the time of the crash, but did sustain injuries and had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. It is unknown the extent of the driver's injuries or what caused the crash. Pennsylvania State Police are currently investigating the crash in Schuylkill County. A man has been taken into custody after allegedly threatening a nurse that he would get his gun and blow up the pharmacy. Lycoming Regional Police Department responded to the 1300 block of Allegheny Street in Jersey Shore for a report of the threat on Friday. Police say David Duell had called the Geisinger Jersey Shore Hospital looking to get a refill of a prescription. Police state that an on-duty nurse tried to guide Duell through the correct process for getting the prescription filled, but Duell became frustrated and threatened to get his gun, go to the CVS, and blow the place up. A release states that officers then found Duell outside the CVS and arrested him. Duell is currently behind bars at the Lycoming County Prison on $25,000 bail and is facing charges of terroristic threats and disorderly conduct. Coming up on WYLN News, a local church will be serving up chicken and waffles this weekend. Plus, Senator David Argyle sees his bill pass the state Senate. But first, take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
This is Brady, and tomorrow it's going to be partly cloudy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
Stop in to one of our 2 locations,
Route 93 in Escapec,
or downtown Hazleton,
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Welcome back to WYLN News. An annual tradition at a Mifflinville church will soon be filling bellies in the community once again. On Saturday, November 4th, St. John's Evangelical Lutheran Church will be hosting their annual chicken and waffle supper from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We spoke with church member Laureen Comstock, who said the event has been held since the 1980s and has become very popular in the Mifflinville community.
We usually serve around 300 people. So it's become quite an event in the community, and we have good reviews for the food. So I think that's the reason people come back and why they tell their friends.
At the event, participants will have the opportunity to enjoy a full chicken dinner, including chicken, waffles, mashed potatoes, gravy, coleslaw, corn, green beans, and of course, desserts.
Well, we always have great pies, and they are family recipes. Pies, cakes, sometimes cookies, but for the most part it's pies and cakes, cupcakes, that sort of thing.
The cost of the meal is $12 for adults and $6 for kids between the ages of 6 and 12. Children under the age of 6 can eat for free. Comstock said the majority of the proceeds from the event will benefit the building fund for the church, but that a portion will go towards supporting a local community organization.
Well, right now we are providing 10% of the proceeds will go to the Central Susquehanna Opportunities Incorporated, better known as CSO, and they provide emergency housing and all kinds of helpful services to those in need.
No registration is required for the event, and the meal is takeout only. St. John's Evangelical Lutheran Church is located at the intersection of 5th Street and Race Street in Mifflinville. A bill proposed by Senator David Argyle has been passed by the state Senate. Senate Bill 282 would deter Pennsylvanians from dealing with anyone associated with the Russian or Belarus governments. This legislation would stop companies from receiving state contracts, grants, or tax credits if they deal with anything or anyone related to the Russian government. The bill comes in response to the war crimes the Russian government has committed as they have invaded Ukraine. The 2020 census stated that Cass Township in Schuylkill County had the highest percentage of residents with Ukrainian ancestry in the country. The bill now heads to the House for further consideration. The Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission announced on Friday that Executive Director Chad Dion Lassiter has been sworn in as a commissioner on the Presidential Advisory Commission on Advancing Educational Equity, Excellence, and Economic Opportunities for Black Americans. In this new role, Lassiter will work to develop practical solutions for dismantling racism and creating opportunities for Black Americans. Specifically, the Commission hopes to promote career pathways for Black students, increase public awareness of educational disparities, and establish local and national relationships with philanthropic and nonprofit stakeholders to advance the mission of equity for Black Americans. Coming up on Whitehaven's News Choice, we recap the NFL trade deadline and more on Let's Talk Sports. Plus, Trooper Anthony Petrosky is back on Trooper Talk Tuesday. So stay right here because we'll be right back on WYLN TV.
The 45th Annual American Cancer Society Telethon will be broadcast live on WYLN TV 35 from the Pennsylvania Theater of Performing Arts in downtown Hazleton. Watch it live on TV from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. or come down and join us in person Saturday, November 18th. There will be tricky trades, bake sales, live entertainment, and more. Year 45, together we strive, and so many more can survive.
Contact Pete Casalica for a home and auto quote today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute brings the next level of cancer care to the greater Hazleton region. The new cancer center on the campus of Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is now open and offers an advanced radiation therapy program, an expanded infusion suite with private treatment rooms, and the latest telemedicine technologies. The Cancer Center at LVH Hazleton, offering world-class cancer care closer to home. To learn more, visit lvhn.org/Hazleton Cancer Center.
Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Get ready for the ultimate touchdown experience with Sports Talk. Marty Burns and Hazleton Area Cougars football coach Dennis Bookman have your weekly pass to all things high school football. Breaking down plays, victories, and every heart-pounding moment of the game, plus exclusive insights from the players themselves. Catch the excitement, catch the plays, catch Sports Talk every week on WYLN TV 35. Sponsored by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute.
Welcome back to a Tuesday edition of Let's Talk Sports. We talked some Eagles yesterday after they got a big win against the Commanders, but we still have the rest of the NFL slate to get to. So let's recap these 1 o'clock games. First up, we saw Dallas defeat the Rams 43-20. Big day for Dak Prescott, and of course, CeeDee Lamb catching 2 touchdowns. He had like 35 fantasy points at half. It felt like he was absolutely carving up this depleted Rams secondary. So they didn't do anything at the deadline. They probably thought they were good after this absolute stomping of the Rams, so they thought they were going to remain in place while other NFC contenders made move after move after move. And I'm kind of exaggerating that. There's only 2 that made moves. Chicago's not really a contender, but they probably made the biggest move of the trade deadline day. But we also have another team in the NFC that made a move, the Minnesota Vikings. They won 24-10 this past weekend, but they lost their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, to an Achilles injury. Looks like he's out for the year. And they traded for Arizona quarterback Josh Dobbs, who's looked okay in relief, but nothing too special. Kirk was having a crazy efficient season where you could have made the argument he could have won MVP if he brought the Vikings all the way back, but sad stuff for Minnesota. But it was awesome to see him still at that Halloween night out for the Vikings. Immediately after getting surgery, he was signing autographs for the kids. Classy guy, and you'd know that if you watched the show Quarterback on Netflix. We also had Tennessee and Atlanta. Tennessee winning 28-23 on the back of former Penn State Nittany Lion, his former Kentucky Wildcat, but he played for both schools. He just finished at Kentucky, but Will Levis had an awesome day. He threw 3 touchdowns to DeAndre Hopkins. He had a 4th as well, but DeAndre Hopkins had himself a day with Will Levis behind the helmet. It's just one of those things where did they make the switch a little too late? Like, could they be playing for the division now? I know Jacksonville is 6-2 and they beat the Steelers this past weekend, but maybe they just, playing devil's advocate here. You don't know what could have went wrong or what could have went right if they went to him early. But Atlanta losing the game on a drop pass by one of their non-top 3 picks. It just happens, with Atlanta. I mean, Taylor Heineke did come in for Desmond Ridder, and I think that was a good move as he's a better quarterback. But still, it's just Arthur Smith. Come on, man. It's not even about fantasy anymore. It's literally you draft these guys to win you football games. And we've seen the talent. I mean, Kyle Pitts is a little debatable by some people, but Drake London and Bijan Robinson have shown the talent, and they just refuse to use them. So it's at that point, you're losing your team football games, and it's not just about fantasy managers who are in there in his head because he's mentioned them in a couple of press conferences. And there's going to be a funny press conference later that I have to get to that happened today as well. But we also saw New Orleans beat Indianapolis 38-27, thanks to Alvin Kamara and, of course, Taysom Hill. That man just won't go away. I mean, they pay him a ton of money, so what are they going to do? Give him the ball, and he puts up numbers. It's honestly crazy stuff what he does on a week-to-week basis. And Rashid Shaheed had himself a big game with 3 catches, 150 yards, and a score. So good stuff for New Orleans there. In Indianapolis, they look good as well. Jonathan Taylor looked amazing, and then they didn't give him the ball at all, which is oddly strange. He finished the half with as many rushing yards as he finished the game with. I don't know what they're doing out there in Indianapolis, but that's beyond me. Miami beat New England 31-17. Don't have to spend much time on that. Tua and company got the job done. Tyreek Hill caught another long touchdown. Surprise. And Jalen Waddle had himself a fantastic day. Now the Jets-Giants battle in New York. 13-10. The Jets had no business winning this game at all, and they came back and kicked a game-winning field goal in overtime, which is absolutely insane. But that's just what these teams are right now. Just not good. And the Giants were playing with a third-string quarterback, so I don't really follow them that much, but not a fun game if you were watching that one. But speaking of press conferences, Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-10, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but today at a press conference, there was a phone that fell down in Matt Canada's press conference. You know exactly where I'm heading with this. It fell down. He didn't touch it. He's like, I didn't touch that, but, some people will say I did. That is when people are up in his head, and it's just bad because he gets a lot of the blame, and, there's a lot of varying opinions on that situation, all not really good ones, but it's just one of those things where Matt Canada needs to go, and it looks like the mentality there is absolutely gone, for lack of better words. And it's one of those things where the coaching staff needs a turnover, and we'll see if that happens come this offseason. But Jacksonville looked decent. Travis Etienne, Calvin Ridley with the bounce back. Trevor Lawrence still needs to get in his groove, but still a good showing from the Jaguars. And we already talked about Washington and Philadelphia, and Carolina beat Houston. Can you believe that one? 15-13, catching their first win of the season. Good stuff for them, but we're going to recap the rest of the slate tomorrow. But I'm kind of stopping a little early here because we saw a big trade. I mean, some of us saw a big trade in the overnight hours at 2 in the morning. James Harden was announced to the Los Angeles Clippers, and Woj left the Philly fans hanging there for a little bit. They didn't get what they wanted to hear until half an hour later. They got Robert Covington back, Nicholas Batum, KJ Martin, Marcus Morris, and picks, which the big pick is the 2028 unprotected first rounder. Yeah, he's probably in like 9th or 10th grade right now, but hey, they traded for it. It's a valuable asset. Paul George and Kawhi will be very old by that time that pick rolls around, and it might be high because who knows where this Clippers team is going to go in the coming years, because Paul George, James Harden, and Kawhi are all unrestricted free agents, so it'll be interesting to see how this trade plays out and if the Sixers parlay that pick into someone like Zach LaVine. So it's going to be a fun trade deadline in the NBA, more fun than the NFL, but that does it for this edition of Let's Talk Sports. We're going to recap the rest of the slate and the rest of the trade deadline. The big trades are still to come, but we'll get to that tomorrow. See you then.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Like and follow Wyln News on Facebook for the Wyln News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
2 Italian Guys Pizzeria, 3 West Diamond Avenue in Hazleton has all your favorites, from pizza, hoagies, salads, entrees, wings, and sides. Always made with the freshest ingredients. Call them at 570-459-2783.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another segment of Trooper Talk Tuesday. I'm Trooper Anthony Petrowski, Troop N Public Information Officer. Today we're at the State Police Barracks and I'm here to talk to you about construction zone safety. Now we understand that the summer's over, but construction season is not over. You've probably noticed there's a lot of construction in our area still happening. So the important things to know is, number one, it's still happening. So plan your trips accordingly. Plan ahead. Know if you're going to go through a construction zone to allow yourself extra travel time. Also, be aware that there's going to be a backlog of traffic approaching these zones, especially on the interstates if there's a lane shut down. What that means is you're going to have to merge into the open lane. Now, you are allowed to use both travel lanes until you get to the merge point. What does that mean? You don't have to wait until it's 2 miles before the merge point. You can drive both lanes at a reasonable speed, and then you can merge safely into the lane that's open. Now, it is required by state law to have your headlights on while you're driving through an active construction zone. That's also important for you to see and be seen. It could be foggy, it could be rainy, and you know these workers out there, they need to be safe also. Slow down. If you're pulled over for speeding or a violation within a construction zone, the fine will be doubled. There will be points assessed to your license. Slow down. While you're not only driving through a construction zone, but also on the road in general, put the phone down. Sure, you're allowed to use it to make and receive phone calls, but no social media, no texting while you're driving. That is a primary violation. You can be cited for that. More importantly, you're putting everybody at risk on the road. So please put the phone down. Maintain your eyes on the road at all time when you're going through construction zones. This way you won't meet me or any of my coworkers, and you won't be having to go to court for a heavy citation. Be sure to take these tips to heart. Be safe when you're driving out there. Make sure everybody else is safe. And I'll see you next time here on Trooper Talk Tuesday.
If you're just tuning in, here's a recap of our top stories. A Shenandoah man has been arrested following a domestic incident on Saturday. According to court documents, state police responded to the 200 block of North White Street around 1:30 p.m. Troopers say Francisco Ramos had been drinking and assaulted a woman by punching her in the head and kicking her. Ramos fled the scene but was taken into custody later that day. Ramos has been charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, and harassment. He is currently behind bars at the Schuylkill County Prison, unable to post his $10,000 straight cash bail. An Ashland man is behind bars at the Schuylkill County Prison after pursuit Saturday morning in Sherrardville, where he was found with methamphetamine. According to court documents, troopers were on patrol around 2 a.m. Saturday morning when they passed a Jeep Cherokee driven by Graham Hahn that was traveling in the opposite direction at a high rate of speed. When police ran the registration of the vehicle, they found that it was expired and that the registered owner of the Jeep was deceased. Troopers then followed Hahn until he hit an embankment on a dirt road near Butler Township. Hahn resisted arrest but was eventually taken into custody. When police searched Hahn's vehicle, they found 4 bags of suspected methamphetamine, a pill that was suspected to be oxycodone, and drug paraphernalia. Hahn has been charged with possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, driving under the influence, resisting arrest, and attempting to elude police, and is currently behind bars of the Schuylkill County Prison on $10,000 straight cash bail. And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our YouTube, Facebook, or at our website at wylntv.com. Stay with us for a look at the weather.
You're watching WYLN TV 35,